What's going on, 5-Star fam? Welcome to our 2026 season preview special. And it is a very, very unique one because we are doing it with our Patreon fam. And I'm AJ, of course. That's Michael. And we are joined by Gavin, Nick, and Drew. Welcome to the show, guys. Yes.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here. Let's do this.
Hey. But yes, so, you know.
Excited. You're excited for the season, first of all, before we get into it.
Yes.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, I'm really excited. I'm cautiously optimistic, but other than that, we're very excited. Very excited.
Love it.
That's how I feel, cautiously as well.
Yes,
but excited nonetheless.
Right, and it's okay to not be excited as well because, yeah, we don't have to be this all in unison or anything like that. You can have your own opinions, and that's why we're here. We're going to talk about our predictions for this season, and yeah, Atlanta United have made a number of changes, starting off with Tata Martino, of course, taking over for Ronnie Deila. And yes, our chosen one has returned and hopefully can take us back to the promised land. But he's got every obstacle in front of him, unfortunately. And yes, it is where we were epically bad last season. If you tuned out last season, I don't blame you. But yes, we finished one spot away from the wooden spoon. So yes, Tata Martino has everything to do to get us back into playoff contention and possibly other things as well. So, you know, that's the first baseline probably, but, you know, we'll get to those things. But, yes, we didn't change our DPs. We have Miguel Miron, we have Emmanuel Lattelat, and we have Alexei Miranchuk. But we had a lot of players that were transferred out, at least maybe big ones anyway. So, or at least maybe retired, etc., etc. Most notably, Brad Uzan. And yes, you know, obviously lost his spot to Jaden Hibbert at kind of pretty much mid-season, but now he's our team ambassador, you know, so there's that. There's Brooks Lennon. Podcaster as well. Yes, indeed. That was announced today or pretty much this week, and the first episode dropped. We are recording this on a Wednesday, full transparency. But Brooks Lennon, our right back, of course, as well. He is gone. He had his option declined. Bartosz Schlich, he was sold off to Brøndby and in the Danish Superliga. So there was that as well. And I think to some people's dismay as well, Jamal Tiare was also sold to the Columbus Crew or traded for a bunch of GAM. So we brought in Elias Baez. We brought in Adrian Gill from FC Barcelona. Yes, I said it the most pompous way possible. And then Lucas Hoyos as well, who looks to be the number one goalkeeper. But, you know, we'll see if Jaden Hibbert can do what a lot of us are hoping he can do. But also Tomas Jakob and also Fafa Picot as well as Sergio Santos. But let's get to everyone's opinions now because, yes, all these moves, it could be any of these moves, transfer in, transfer out. Nick, I'm going to start with you. Who was your key transfer this offseason? And it could be somebody that maybe wasn't necessarily transferred out, but, you know, key transaction, for a lack of a better phrase.
Well, I, for one, was quite surprised when shit. My mind just went. When Schlich got moved out,
Yeah.
You know, that was one that shocked me. Am I surprised now in hindsight, a week's days after it happened? No, because it was a move made to put some cash in our pocket that we needed. So I understand it now. I hated to see him go. I'm going to focus more on transfers in because that's what's more important right now. And the move for Adrian Gill was really key for me. It's a good young support. I know he's in a supplemental role. At least that's what the team has indicated in the roster. I think he'll be key. possibly in some matches towards the middle of the season. I don't expect him to play to start the season. You know, supplemental players rarely appear in the beginning of the season. Baez is an interesting get for me also. Going with more than one here, because I can't really pin down between those two which one is the better one for me. But he looks like a really interesting player to me. I'm interested to see what he will bring from the young aspect. That's really about all I have, because until we make a move for if a DP turns over later in the season, that's when the moves are going to be really interesting for me. But what I have to go on what moves have made, those are the two that are interesting for me.
Yeah, and I should have probably caveated that it should be only one, guys. So, but we'll allow it. We'll allow multiple ones. It is for sure. But Drew, who's your key one player this or transaction? It could be a coach too, but yeah.
Leave the low-hanging fruit for someone else, but I do think for me it's Bartosz Slisz being transferred out, because you knew game in, game out, you had a dependable midfielder, and now we have to kind of reimagine what this midfield's going to look like, and we'll see if some of these transfers that have come in can help that. We've got El Zlate that'll be kind of taking a much bigger role and have a better shot with like a preseason with us and everything like that. But it is the one thing that concerns me a lot more about this team is, do we have that like stalwart field general basically in our midfield anymore?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be a big miss for sure, because we have not really filled his spot yet. So, no doubt, it's a spot that I think is a massive miss going into preseason, and then also into the actual season itself. So, yeah, we saw, Tomas Jakob pretty much play in that spot, and we'll see if that's actually what Tata Martino goes with. It seems like, at least for the early part of the season, until we actually bring somebody in, that it might actually be the case, because the other guy that he mentioned that was the most natural number 6 was Will Riley, and yeah, I doubt for some reason that he's going to start Will Riley ahead of some of the other guys. But Gavin, who's your one key move this offseason?
Yeah, I agree with Bartosz Slisz thing. That's what I would say, but I want to go with something a little bit more under the radar, even though you just brought it up. I want to bring up Tomas Jakob. I think he's key because mainly of his flexibility of where he can play. He can play defensive midfielder. He can play center back. He can play, and I believe right back or left back. I just like his flexibility. I think that's key because, as you know, we always have some injury bug or, players out on international duty. I think it's crucial that he can be in any of those spots, because you never know what happens to our players if they go on international duty, if they get hurt. His flexibility is very key, and I've watched him play. He looks sharp, and I'm hoping that would play us out for the season. So there's that. And I would mention Slisz, but obviously there's going to be one. So if there's one, I want to go under the radar and talk about Jakob. So it's very flexible, and I like to see it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's definitely a big shout of someone that has the versatility to be able to fill in at a lot of spots. Unfortunately, in my opinion anyway, that means that Ronald Hernandez probably is going to be starting, and I think we all know my thoughts on him, unfortunately. But yes, it is... hopefully, yes, we do bring in somebody that can play the number 6 position. But yes, Michael, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I was going to go with Jakob as well, because I think a lot rides on that position. I think it's incredibly, the 6 and the 8 I think are extremely important positions, specifically in MLS. I really think it makes and breaks teams, and I think it really breaks Atlanta United teams in particular as well when you don't have a strong underlying 6 and 8, because like you just can't get plays started if you just don't have a strong foundation there. We've seen it so many times. So with that being, you guys have already beat that horse to death. So obviously the low-hanging fruit is Tata Martino. That is going to be an incredible force multiplier from what we already have. A lot of people are saying he's going to turn the roster around mentally wise, emotionally, being able to control themselves, not being able to, go down, hang their heads, and also instill some endurance, stamina, and the ability to run like crazy, which Tata Martino teams are known to do. So seeing more of that, seeing us kind of relentlessly pursue the other team instead of just kind of being reactive and absorbing pressure all the time. We're just going after them. We dictate the game. Our style is attack. They have to respond by either attacking, just as much or trying to defend, in which that case they kind of play into our hands. So I think that's probably going to be the biggest variable going into the season. But I want to do a dark horse thing real quick by saying, man, Faf Picault is a really interesting signing for me. Seeing something happen on the left wing is going to be really interesting. Someone who can play along the front line, who has that kind of striker instinct. Just giving another threat on there besides our DPs, I think will be interesting. He's a known goal scorer. Yes, he's a little bit older, but the guy doesn't seem to have lost that much of his step over the last several years. And that, I think, can help us a lot. So that'll be really curious to see if we can depend on him for stuff. If he's just another kind of dud left winger, that's kind of what we've just come to expect from that position. And we can live with it, unfortunately. But I would like to see if they would be something a little bit more.
Yeah. That's a great show. I mean, I think it's going to fill our winger depth, which we desperately needed. And it just makes it where we can actually play a 4-2-3-1 versus likely what we were kind of having almost forced to play during preseason was with a 3-man back line. And yeah, we actually have a winger core to actually choose from. So, but let's move on to the player to watch for 2026. And I'll give I should have maybe given my pick, but Jakob was mine, and I just didn't really want to echo everybody's exact sentiments again. So we'll move on to the player to watch for 2026, and we'll kind of go a little bit more random this time as well. So, Drew, who's your player to watch?
My player to watch this year is Steven Alzate. We kind of got a glimpse of what he can be a little bit when he came in at the end of last season, but our team was so chaotic and disorganized, and basically the team was already rock bottom, and there wasn't much we were going to do to get out of that. So being able to see him in a little bit of a different system, a more aggressive system, I'm interested to see how he's able to kind of fit into that role, because I think he has the talent to work very well in that sort of system. Let's see if that translates in this season.
That's a good show, because yeah, there were some Wolves fans on the internet that were sad to see Steven Alzate go, and that bodes well, I think, as far as sentiment goes. Is that yes, it's somebody that can actually play for the team that they previously were on, and is a miss. So that's not usually
the
the
one whole city fan in our Discord was like, this was terrible for us.
Right. Yeah. Right. And he's not the only one. I've been kind of doing a little research on the internet where people, when that happened, it wasn't necessarily just a unanimous like, oh, this guy be gone. So maybe he does have more to show. But Gavin, who's your player to watch for 2026?
For me, I want to say Emmanuel Latte Loth, because he is absolutely going to have a chip on his shoulder after last season. I don't think he even reached 10 goals. Am I right on that?
I don't think he did.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, and I remember we filmed some episode, and there was a question that you asked, AJ.
Yes.
Is Emmanuel Latte-Left going to reach 10 goals? And we all said, oh, absolutely, yes. He's going to eventually step up, and no. I don't even know if he got 9. He didn't
I think he
get
got
10.
7. Was that right?
7.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really, really underwhelming for however many, 22 million or something like that, 23, I don't know.
Yeah.
He knows he has to live up to his expectations. He's got a chip on his shoulder. I think he's gonna run like a madman this season. I think he's gonna score at least 10 this season. And we saw, how Tata ran a system with, Joseph Martinez at striker. I'm not saying Latte Lot is gonna be the next Joseph Martinez, but the talent is there with Latte Lot. He's got the talent. It's just he had a very poor season, and I think he'll do a lot better under Tata's system. And I think Latte Lot can definitely compete for the Golden Boot race. I don't think he's gonna win it. We'll get to that later, but I think he can compete for it.
It's hard to win it with Messi in the league.
Yeah.
That's why I don't think he's gonna win it. We have players like Bawanga, Son,
We'll
Messi,
come back to that later.
Mueller.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We shall. But
It's a stacked field.
right, for sure. But Manuel Latte-Left, he did start off the blocks hot last season, and that probably prompted that question. But unfortunately, he fell off a cliff, and that was incredibly hard to prognosticate. And I don't think anybody would have. But yeah, a myriad of factors with his season after 18 straight months of playing, no break, but also an injury in the middle of the season that pretty much took him out of being able to find any sort of continuity. Yeah, pretty much spelled doom for him for some reason, and just was kind of a death knell in our season to a degree, because if he didn't score, we really didn't have anybody that looked like scoring either, and that was also part of the problem. So yes, we do need a resurgent season from Emmanuel Latte-Left. Michael, who's your guy?
I might pick someone's choice here, but I'm going to say Moranchuk, just because apparently he's going to be extremely complimentary with Miguel Almiron. So I'm really curious to see how that plays out. Miguel Almiron, we already know what he's about, how he operates, what he does, how he can adjust to things. And I don't think he is going to be the one who has a problem adjusting to a Tata Martino system. Moranchuk, on the other hand, I believe very well might. So that for me is going to be essential to keep an eye on. To Gavin's credit, I think probably he's channeling a little bit of Nick, one of our staff people right now, by saying the season kind of lives or dies on whether or not Emmanuel Latte-Left can provide. So, and I think it's probably right. Outside of him, I think where those goals, those setups going to come from, a lot of that's going to have to come from Moranchuk. So I think he is the secondary kind of scaffolding that needs to be in place for this team to be able to do some damage.
Yeah, and I think there's some precedence a little bit here. There is a little bit of an analog here with maybe the likes of, say, Julian Gressel, who, from deep, not that pacey, can give an early ball and can place it on a plate, but yeah, it's just a matter of can he put it all together and also do some of the work defensively. And it's gonna be a big ask because we haven't really seen it put together in non-Tata Martino systems. So possibly and hopefully he can be the new Julian Gressel in a sense, and just more left-footed. But Nick, who's your player to watch?
Miguel Almiron has not been brought up here, and he's my player to watch because he is, let's not kid ourselves, he's going to be wearing the captain's armband. I mean, it can't be anyone else on the pitch. And how he gels this team together as the captain is a key component of what is going to happen on the pitch. That is very, very important for me in the structure of this team. And I completely trust him. He knows what he's doing, and now Tata's here. So it gives him even more confidence to be that voice out in the field that we need to carry us through the match, that Goose was for so many years. So that is my player to watch, and no one's wrong here. We all have everyone. I mean, Lotte Lath is a close second for me. I mean,
Yep, indeed.
Miggy's the one to watch for me.
Yeah, and Miggy, yeah, it is that. It was a slightly down season, maybe not to the effects of and depths of maybe what people thought, but it definitely wasn't in 2017 levels, 2018 levels. But as a player, he still needs to step up. He needs to be able to galvanize his team. He has, like you're mentioning, the armband, but is he vocal enough? Is he a player that can, inspire with his words? That's going to remain to be seen. So hopefully he can. Hopefully it's, it's a different side of him on, the other side of 30 for Miggy. But,
all right, well, quick question. If Miguel's not on the field and we have to give the armband to someone else, who does it go to right now?
It's a good question. It's probably Ronaldo Hernandez if he's on the pitch, for me anyway. Because he is the next most experienced person that plays and has played for LA United for quite some time and knows what the club's about. But if anybody has another shout,
I mean, you could make shouts for several guys, I think, at this point. But yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say the guy that it would have been if it wasn't Miggy, he's no longer there, and that was Bartosz Slisz. Yeah,
indeed. So yeah, it's and other guys are a little younger or new to the team. It's a good question. There's not really other obvious players. Maybe Mihai.
Saba's been there for a long time.
Yeah,
he has veterancy.
I'm not so sure they're gonna give him the armband. Maybe not a guy that has the vocality in the or for lack of a better word anyway. I think I just made that up, but just isn't vocal in the locker room, at least maybe from what we've seen. I think Mihai probably is the next best shout as far as guy on a pitch that seems vocal enough, seems like he can get the team to play together. But we'll see. We shall see. But I also had Miguel Miron. It's to a lot of Nick's points, but it is also, we need those assists from him. I think he's the most obvious guy that can keep this kind of attack humming if he can, find those spaces, if he can, find that quality that we know he has. Because Moranchuk, supposed to be the 10, didn't really have a ton of that, unfortunately, last season. And so, to rely on someone that hasn't really necessarily done it in the, 2 seasons that he's played for us, or 1.5. Yeah, just hard to rely on somebody like that. So, Miggy at least has that history. So, we'll rifle through this next one. Who's your young player to watch for 2026? And we will go with Gavin.
As for me, I want to say Adrian Gill. I've watched him throughout the preseason. I know he's young, so I know we have a bit of depth there. We got like Tristan Muyumba, Thomas Jacob, Will Riley. We got all these midfielders. I feel like if there's one player that'll get a surprisingly more amount of minutes, because I don't think he's an automatic starter. I don't think so, but
no.
I think we could see him get more minutes because I believe he's one of the what they call Tata signings. Because I know Tata plays a role in some of the signings, and I think Gill was one of them. I've watched him play in the preseason. He looks pretty good, and I feel like if someone gets injured, someone goes on international duty, I think Gill would be a good young player to step up and possibly win a starting job if he plays good enough, and I think he could be one of those players.
Yeah, obviously coming back a little bit from an injury in his past with an ACL, I believe, and with the Barcelona pedigree coming from that whole setup, I mean, he's definitely got kind of that big name in a sense coming from Europe. So, he or Cooper Sanchez or Will Riley, those are all shouts of people that could. But Mike.
So I'm assuming we're talking U22 candidates as well as young players to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I think anybody that's U22 younger, I mean 23 and younger, technically as well. I would say.
What age is Jay Fortune now?
I think 22, maybe something like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
but
he would count.
I'm curious to see how he does. But my answer probably would be Jakob, because I just again, so much is going to rely on this guy. I think in this season. But I just think, to be interesting, Jay Fortune. I just want to see him come back and do lights out. You know, have a real big rebound. That's what I would love to see. Yeah, it would just give me the warm, fuzzy tinglies if he came back and just killed it.
Right, because a homegrown, he is 23 for the record, so yeah, he just ekes it out there, and yeah, of course, that injury that's derailed his season when he was on international duty, our favorite thing, of course, and so, yep, that old chestnut. Nick, who do you have?
Oh, this is a tough choice of the three I have written down here. I think I'm going to go with out of left field here and say, if we get Jaden Hibbert in goal any point this season, he's one that will continue to improve. Yeah. And given Lucas Hoyos' history coming in, coming off injury and whatever, that might be happening sooner than you think. I mean, not to say anything bad about Hoyos. We want him to do well, obviously, but based on what we saw of Hibbert last season, I'm still on board with having him in goal. You know, he played sensationally well. So that's my pick for young player.
That's a great shout. Yeah, I mean, he definitely counts as that, and you know, he made his Canadian national team as well, being kind of dual citizenship as well. So that, yeah, he would probably hope to try to still be part of that setup, and he needs minutes in order to actually get there too. So. Tata, don't take that away from him, you know? But, yeah, Drew, who do you think?
I'll go with the last one, the really interesting name, and that's Dominic Chankui. I think we need to see a lot more from him. We got a lot of hype last season about him, and we never really got to see him play. And as a young player, I think he can kind of come into that back line, and if he can kind of get some versatility and kind of work on either side of the field, I think that fills a lot of holes for us with our depth. If he can start playing left and right back and start performing at a quality level, I think that'll be great for us.
Yeah, I mean,
probably be like after the World Cup coming in, man.
Yeah. And I think it'll be interesting. I mean, yeah, a lot of left backs usually are not, you know, always playing on the right, but if he has that versatility, that would be incredible. But yes, I mean, he also has it going against him too, where Pedro Amador is in there.
Oh, hey, AJ, you there? Your internet cut out for a second.
Yeah, I'm here. Okay.
All right, we're back.
Yes.
All
Okay.
right.
But
Edit.
yeah, and so Pedro Amador as well as Elias Baez, you know, in front of him as depth. I think that is going to be a tough shout for Dominic Chankui. Of course, he's you know coming back from injury as well, being out for the first bit of the season. But if he's able to usurp it, that means probably it's going to be good things for LA United. So hopefully that is the case. But moving on to as far as the kind of Tata Martino and what he brings, because I think that's a massive topic here, and we kind of touched on it, but it is where he brings this massive pedigree, and especially in MLS as well. I mean, having won the Supporter Shield and Leagues Cup with Inter Miami, of course, winning MLS Cup with us, and as well, before that with FC Barcelona. I mean, he did mention essentially coming into this preseason that he noticed that Atlanta United gave up a lot, like very early in games. And that's something that he's looking to change. He's looking to make sure that our mentality is just much, much more resilient and stronger, and we essentially don't concede 3 goals coming out of halftime. And hopefully he's able to really kind of rebound this soft mentality that the team has had these past few years, maybe the past 5 years, really. But yes, it is to that degree where, you know, he's going to have to rely on, like we mentioned, Miguel Almiron for the leadership, you know, but I think that's the question, and we were pontificating it earlier. Who's going to be some of those players that also step up as far as leaders? That's going to be really, really important, I think. And, you know, in that, it's this for Tata Martino. Like, the success for him, what does that entail for you guys? I know this is kind of, we didn't really discuss this, but yes, like, what's a successful season for Tata Martino for you guys' perspective? So, Michael, I'm going to throw it to you first.
Successful, I'll define in this case successful as anything that makes the playoffs, and with the caveat, because you have to have results. It's just not good enough that if you just look good, you have to be able to perform as well. So the other caveat to that is that you have to also look like you're building towards something that the players understand, and the goal is achievable. Like the light is at the end of the tunnel. You see what they're trying to do, and they're growing to that objective, and the results are starting to follow. If those 2 criteria are met, I think we're good to go, because then I think you build on that and you just get better and better. You get new pieces in, develop more chemistry, and then you get like a kind of 2017 to 2018 type of two season period, where you see a heck of a lot of, you know, an establishment, then some consistency, and then really putting on the gas in the next year, which is, I think, probably what Tata is aiming to do here once again.
Yeah, and it will be the sprint season next year, with it being very shortened. You know, NYCFC won it in a weird season, of course, as well. They claim their trophy very much the same as anybody else. So, you know, if it's the second season, in which case usually Tata Martino does some things, is it yeah, I mean, is it like, okay, well, you know, we'll take it nonetheless? It's like a trophy's a trophy, and, you know, if he's able to
it
lead
will
us,
be the most important trophy of all time if we win it.
I like that. Yeah, Drew, what are your thoughts on what's a successful season for Tata Martino?
I will say a playoff spot, and a non-wild card playoff spot, and showing that something is, like Mike said, that they are building, and that includes transfers coming in, the kind of incorporating of younger players, and kind of seeing a system being built that can be replicated very easily by anybody that gets brought into the team. And if that's the case, you have hope going into next season, and you can kind of start building off of that. Yeah, hopefully he can set up that system, that foundation, like Michael was alluding to as well, to basically make a legacy for LA United that's not just Tata dependent. So hopefully that is the case. But Gavin, what are your thoughts on what a successful season for Tata is?
So for us to have a successful, you know, rebuild season, I would say, because I don't think, I mean, you know, you never know what can happen. We could make a push for MLS Cup, but listen, a successful season under year one of Tata Martino returning, obviously making the playoffs, like we've all mentioned, but one thing that I've mentioned for a very long time, win some road games, because we have not been the same with road games ever since like 2018, 2019. In that area, like early Frank de Boer, late Tata. We look, winning road games is not easy, and it's not easy as it's not like it used to be. Used to be, because the league's gotten better. The league's gotten so much better. We got stars in the league now. We got Messi, Bouanga, Son, Thomas Mueller. We got all these stars and these young players that are really good now, and the league's much stronger than it used to be. It's not as easy as it used to be, and it was never easy, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't be able to win these road games, because you need to start winning some road games, because I don't know how many we had last year. I know we won in Nashville last year. I don't know if there was I can't remember off the top of my head, but we need to win some road games along with the playoff spot. We need to win those road games, and if we can make the Benz a fortress again and get those road wins, I don't think we're just going to be in for a wild card. So that's why a successful season would be at that playoff spot, and if you're going to get that spot, you need to have those road game wins, because you might not just end up with a wild card.
It's a great shout. I mean, yes, it is a season in which, it's massively important if we get multiple away wins. We weren't really able to do that for a lot of the seasons in years past. So, yes, I agree. We probably won't get to the heights of maybe 10 like in 2018, but just a little bit more would be, I think, a big shot in the arm for the team. So, but Nick, what are your thoughts on a successful Tata season?
I should think that, of course, making the playoffs would be successful. I mean, bar none. But I should think that if we get a team on the pitch that proves they can fight, that proves they can stay in the game, that proves they can push forward, that proves they can hold back the other team, do all those things, a cohesive group on that pitch, 11 players on that pitch that know what they're doing, I would think in this first season, that will be a success for me, whether they make the playoffs or not. That is what we did not have in 2025, not even close. And we have the man who can do it.
Yeah, indeed.
That is really what I'm looking for. That's where my expectation is right now. Playoffs or no playoffs, if they fought and did all they could, then I am satisfied.
Yeah, and
Just make this team fun to watch again. That's all I ask.
Right.
That.
And it's that base level of entertainment. Yeah, it's just something that we're all asking for. Is you go to the games or you're watching at home, and the away games are just not a complete wash, because it's been the case, unfortunately, and it's not fun. It's no bueno. But
and think of the new kit. Don't tarnish its legacy.
I know, right? Yeah, that's the most important part, is making sure the kid is not embarrassed. Yeah. Yes. I mean, I agree, guys. It's playoffs base level, because yes, we have some spots to go, but that would be the success if we can basically jump at least 12 points. Then yeah, we will be doing markedly better than last season already, and that's not that many. It's 4 games, basically more that we won. Hopefully we can do that. That's not a massive achievement, but as well, I think for me, and I mentioned this in 5 Star Weekly as well, that you want to see a semblance of cohesion from the lines. So from defense to midfield to the attack, it's vitally important that it looks like a team that actually likes playing together. I mean, God forbid these players know where they're going and the ball lands to where they actually want to hit the ball into the back of the net. Like, it's just it's almost like the name of the game a little bit, but we haven't been doing it, and so it's it is hard. It is not easy, but ultimately, yes, that's almost at the base level. Beyond that, you want to see multiple double-digit scoring seasons from, the attackers and assists as well. And, that means it likely is a good season if at least a couple of attackers hit those numbers. So, but I think you also want to see the goals spread around. So, but let's move on to the BetMGM odds for the teams around the league. And yeah, surprise, surprise, Inter Miami, they have the best odds of winning MLS Cup in 2026. Right behind them, LAFC. Right behind them, San Diego. And right behind them as well, at the same marker, is Vancouver Whitecaps. So definitely formidable bunch. Maybe a surprising a little bit for some of them. But yeah, we languishing in at 2%, tied with 8 other clubs, which is a lot actually. And so yeah, it's, you know, with the likes of Austin, FC Dallas, Colorado Rapids, San Jose Earthquakes, Toronto FC. We could say more, but yeah, it's not, you know, yeah, you're not exactly calling those guys the contenders. So yes, I think that's unfortunately with how we finished last season. That's where we are. But I'll just put this as a forum. Are we surprised with the odds from BetMGM?
No, not at all.
Yeah, 2%. Yeah, I think 2% is actually a little even high. I feel like, like it's yeah. I mean, DC United have the worst odds, which probably with
Rightfully so.
Surprise.
yeah, with their off season, it's looks like the case. Sporting KC also are tied with them for those worst odds. So yeah, I mean,
surprise.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, we're not in the doldrums, but we're very close. But you know, hopefully that Tata factor can change it. But let's stay around the league and predict the Golden Boot winner. This probably is pretty easy. We might maybe just like in unison say it together. Lionel Messi. But
Messi.
Does anybody have anybody different?
I mean, I won't hate to put out Miami's new striker.
Okay. More than Messi. Okay.
I was gonna say,
I think Messi might want to take his foot off the gas a little bit now that he won the trophy and he doesn't want to get hurt for World Cup. Maybe that might play into it a bit. He's kind of proven himself, done everything now, and then he's just waiting for
Well,
World Cup.
I was reading he did get hurt 10 days ago playing Barcelona. He pulled his hamstring. I don't know how much of a factor that is. Begging your pardon, Mike.
Yeah. No worry.
say
I mean, yeah, hopefully it's not that serious because I think a Messi World Cup is still always a better World Cup. But yeah, both you, Drew, and Gavin rose your hands. So yeah, who wants to go?
I'll start it out. As much as I would love to either say that Latte Loth or a personal favorite Thomas Muller is in that shout, in for a shout, I have a strong feeling Denny Bouanga takes it this year. He was neck and neck last year, basically, and I think he's going to be highly motivated to go for that Golden Boot this year.
That's a good shout. Absolutely. Gavin.
As for me, it's easy. Luke Brennan.
Oh,
Okay. All right. All right.
No,
The dark
jokes aside, Drew, I'm going with his teammate. I'm going with Son. He scored a load of goals last season, and he played like one whole like other half of the season, and he was scoring a lot of goals. I believe he got like a hat trick as well. I don't know.
He got a hattie.
Yeah, he was scoring like a lot of goals. It was like he was combining with Denny Bouanga, and it's like the leader in goals is either gonna be Bouanga or Son in LAFC. It's gonna be one of the two, facing off against probably like, you know, maybe Messi or I don't know, Mueller. I don't know. But the thing is with Vancouver, I don't say Mueller because they have a lot of other stars. I can't name them off the top of my head.
Yeah,
but,
White.
Yeah,
Brian White. Do they still have Sebastian Berhalter, or did he get sold?
I think he's still there.
He's still there.
He's
Yeah,
still
I know
there.
we got, yeah, I know. I'm not saying he'd compete with, the Golden Boot, but like they have these. My point is, they have Vancouver as a lot of their star
They're
players. so
sharing
I don't-
goals around.
Yeah, they're sharing goals, but I think it's gonna be Sun. I just think I can see Danny Bwanga and Sun combining. I think Sun's gonna end up with more goals because he's very. I don't know. 'Cause they both combine with a lot of goals. I just think Sun's gonna end up with.
Yeah.
I agree that there's a lot of similarities between what we see with Son and Bwanga that we saw with early Miguel and Joseph. That kind of connection is not common in MLS, and so that seems to be the version too, and they are lighting it up. So I'm from like if I'm watching from a neutral perspective with LAFC, it's exciting to watch those guys work together.
Yeah. One more thing. One more thing about my pick about Sun. He's probably gonna be the set piece taker with free kicks, maybe penalties. I think that'll be the factor of why he get maybe 1 or 2 or 3 more goals than Bwanga.
Yeah, and it's like they seem like they like playing together, which is a very important.
They
piece
just
of puzzle.
dropped 6 on a CONCACAF opponent.
Yeah, that's they are so dangerous. Yeah,
That's CONCACAF.
yeah, which we will get to as far as MLS Cup winner. But Nick, who do you think?
I'm gonna go with Sun, LAFC. That is my pick. I think, Messi is Messi. He's gonna score a lot. Let's not kid ourselves. But as was already alluded to, he's won his cup. He can take the foot off the gas just a little bit now. It's a World Cup year. He might not want to put himself at so much risk of getting injured, but he has to play forward. He will get goals. Don't get me wrong, but I think that the Bwanga Sun combination that Gavin talked about is really key. And having seen that duo in person myself last season, they're beautiful to watch. I was very entertained by that LAFC side last year.
Yeah.
So that's my pick. I'm going to pick Sun to win the boot.
Yeah. The jealousy is rife within myself about LAFC right now, and yep. It's going to take a lot to shake it. It's anyway, but something that I didn't prepare you guys for, but I'm going to ask you guys anyway. Before we get to the MLS Cup winner, is where does Atlanta United finish at the end of the season? Mike.
I want it'll be between like 7 and I'll say 7 or 8. I'll say 7 for Joseph Martinez.
For Joseph. Okay. All right. I like it. Who wants to go next? Gavin.
I'll go next.
I'll go next.
I'll go.
Go, Gavin.
I'll just go out and say 8 off the top of my head. I really want to say like 5 or 6. That's what I really want to say. But if we're trying to be a little more realistic, it should. That's my optimism. My optimism saying 5 or 6. But more realistically thinking, I want to say 8th place. But because look, this is more of a rebuild year. If we're gonna reach the top 5, I feel like we have more of a chance to do that next season. So I just gotta see to believe it, and that opinion will probably change after the first few 3 or 4 matches, and we'll go from there. But right now, I got him at 8th.
Okay. Drew.
I kind of predict us at 6 or 7. That's where I feel like if we're at that point, if we finish the season at that spot, I would definitely call it a successful season. We're in a playoff spot. We're improving way off of our horrible season last year, and I think it's very realistic with the people we have on this team.
Yeah, that's fair. Nick, I know I'm putting you on the spot, man.
As I'm already on record as saying, we do have a chance to squeak into the playoffs. 8 to 9 is where I see us finishing. With Miami and Nashville has a lot of talent on their rosters, and we're gonna have some low point totals in the Eastern Conference. Yeah, I maintain that analysis. By the way, check out the Patreon for that article of all the season previews from the writing staff, of which I am part, and Mike and AJ. So yeah, 8 to 9 is where I see us.
Yeah,
squeaking in.
So we're all thinking we make the playoffs, except for I also have us making the playoffs. It's unfortunately we're squeaking in. It's ninth. I think firmly ninth, and we have to see a massive improvement from our DPs, and hopefully that is the case. But like we're all saying, there's a lot to prove, and there's not a ton of evidence in that. So yeah, we just almost have to kind of side with our PTSD here, and at least for me, I'm going with just getting in there, and we'll have to do a lot of the business if we want to stick around in the playoffs and make some waves. But what better guy to hopefully manage us through than Tata Martino, right? So I think I would feel much worse with anybody else. So yeah, but this gets us to our MLS Cup winner, and yeah, a lot of good shouts, a lot of really good teams, like I mentioned before, that have very good odds. But yes, there can only be one. So, Drew, who is your MLS Cup winner?
I have Vancouver winning it this year.
Oh.
I think with the chemistry they started building toward the end of last season, especially with the full season of Thomas Muller with them, I think they can do it. They were very close last year, and I think they go win it this year.
Yeah, I'm not surprised you picked an ex-Bayern Munich player. Being a Bayern fan, yes. Who wants next? Gavin, you look ready.
Sure, I'll go next. This one might shock y'all. This one is just out of my feelings. I got this very strange feeling. I'm going with Nashville. I'm saying Nashville because we saw the combination of Hani Mukhtar and Sam Surge last season. They're adding in a player who isn't really talked about that much, Christian Espinoza, who they just added to that roster, who came from San Jose. He's been there for a very long time, and he's switching over to Nashville. I think it'll take a little bit for Espinoza, to get in that mix. But once things start clicking, I think Nashville's gonna make a climb. I don't think. If they're to win MLS Cup, I think they'll be the road team. I think they could probably face up against LAFC or Inter Miami maybe, but I think they'd be the road team to win it this year. And I just something's telling me Nashville's going to be a lot better than they were last season with the addition of Espinoza.
Yeah, that's a great dark horse pick because they could smash and grab it. Yeah, you took one of mine, so that's a great shout. But Michael,
I think LAFC is probably going to be the one in the championship spot. That probably seems the most like, if it's not Miami, it's probably going to be LAFC. I think that they're just more poised to do it this year, better than last year. And I just don't want to see Miami repeat. So I'm hoping it's LAFC. It's like, for me, it kind of feels like a coin flip between Vancouver and LAFC. But I think LAFC may be able to just eke it out this time, whereas Vancouver, I think they've kind of made themselves a permanent fixture in the postseason, which is great for parity's sake, which I feel like, this is kind of a broader conversation, but it's just, I feel like we're seeing like a carve out of different tiers of the league, and for supposedly parity league, it's frustrating a little bit to see just people just get teams get solidified in their tiers. It's very hard to break out. It seems like over the last 3 or 4 years, teams are starting to get solidified into different tiers. Part of that is facilitated by the fact that some teams seem to be able to get around certain hurdles like salary caps because of either A, like the attractiveness of their city, B, the types of deals that their front office can make, the appeal that they have versus others. And this kind of is creating a bit of a lopsidedness that solidifies some teams in some positions and others that just kind of, you know, they just kind of are listless, like DC United. I don't see them like almost ever getting good again. It's kind of crazy. And there's just some teams that are just perennially bad, and then there's just teams that are almost always doing well. And it's interesting to see when a team kind of almost wins promotion in a way. Like when Vancouver, all of a sudden, in his last several years, they're starting to do really well persistently. And that's, you know, great to see, because I like to see movement in a quote-unquote parity league, which I feel like we're not seeing as much of lately, and that kind of bothers me. Atlanta, I hope, can win promotion soon, so we're out of just this being the laughing stock of the league. It's just ridiculous at this point. Everyone's talking about how, like, we have buddies from other Discords who run MLS Discord, and they come in at like various points of the season and go like, oh, by the way, $50 million in last place. And then they leave, and then they'll like leave the Discord. Wow. So it's just like, and we deserve it, honestly. It's a laughing stock kind of situation. So anyway, so yeah, I have that tier rant, which I wanted to get out, and then we need to get out of that. We need to win promotion somehow out of this ridiculous position we're in. And yeah, and like I'm hoping that LAFC was my pick came through in the beginning. What I was talking about.
It did.
Yeah,
Okay.
that did. Yeah.
Yep. Well, Nick, who do you have?
I think I'm going to go with LAFC. They certainly have the most chip on their shoulder for potential to win the cup last year, and lost out of the playoffs. So if anything, they have the best drive. You could also make a case if San Diego repeats their awesomeness that they did last season, they might be in the mix. I don't want to see Miami win it again either. So LAFC is my pick. I can't see San Diego doing it. So, but everyone's kidding. The real answer is DC United. I mean, you all are making jokes.
Yeah.
What are y'all talking about? Of course it's DC United.
Right? Exactly. I mean,
hey, there's
put money
one guy
down.
on our Discord who did argue with me extensively about how, man, I just didn't look at the guys they brought in the offseason.
Oh.
That DC is very much retooled. And I was like, I don't know if it's enough.
You know what?
You know,
we should all put
Yeah,
money
We're not
down.
going off on that tangent.
We should all put money
Yeah,
down on
I
DC
thought-
United.
Yeah. I thought Ty Bariba was a good replacement for Christian Benteke, but it's not going to be good enough.
No, definitely
yeah,
not.
they
Of
need
course.
more than that. And I mean, they did get new players in, but I just don't think it's going to get them there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for the sake of being different, since I think a lot of mine were already chosen, and yes, Inter Miami, LAFC, even Nashville, those guys probably have the best shouts, even Vancouver as well. I think a team that hasn't really been talked about yet, FC Cincinnati, are very, very talented, and Vander, I mean, that dude is just stupid good, and if he can have that type of MVP season that he's had before, and then with that defense, they're going to be very, very difficult to deal with. And yeah, no dynasties in MLS. That's what I'm hoping. That's so Inter Miami, yeah, winning back to back, that would piss me off so much, and it would be it would basically mean like it's Bundesliga, or you know, I'm just digging at Drew here, but they have been that type of club that they're like almost the perennial winners right now, and we can't have that. That's not what MLS is about.
And it's just like there's only like 3 or 4 teams that truly can have a chance against that. Yeah. And that's frustrating to me. Like it's supposed to be a league of parity, and you'd want to hope like, oh, maybe next year, I don't know, San Jose can figure out things. Oh, maybe next year, Charlotte, or you know, I don't know. I don't want to say Orlando because they're not. I'm just hoping they'll ever figure it out. But like, you know, any other team could just figure it out. But it just doesn't seem to materialize in, I would say, at least like 75% of the cases. yeah, like you'll have movement with some teams here and there, but I think that is the exception that kind of proves the rule instead of the actual, this is parity.
Right. But because I'm petty and, the southern teams that are around us, I don't want them to have more MLS Cups than we do. Or more trophies. So none of Charlotte, none of Nashville, Inter Miami already, they're winning some stuff, and they're getting to that precipice of like, okay, they need to stop.
Miami will always have an asterisk next to their team name because they're literally the best player to ever play the game on their team. So it's like,
yes, exactly, and all their fans are going to be gone when Messi leaves. So yes, it's gonna be the case, and so yes, we have that shout. We're still. Nobody else, as far as our noisy neighbors, have been able to do anything quite yet. So we still have that chance to have a resurgent season, and then next season possibly win some trophies. It's within the realm of possibility. But
it is. We're one of the few teams that are positioned to actually, quote unquote, win promotion. I feel like because of how much money we can throw around.
Right. So. Yep, hopefully the case. But, yeah, that's pretty much, I think, where we're going to end it here. But we're going to leave you with a question. And that question is, so, the Five Stripes, what do you guys think will happen this season? Get us in the comments below. Looking forward to what you have to say. So, for everybody, for Mike, for Nick, for Gavin, for Drew, I've been AJ. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you in the next video.